Good morning, everyone. Hey, I think we got it now. All right. Thank you, JK2, for saving the day. Somehow, some way, I had been made host, so that would not have been good. So let me open back up here. So hey, welcome. Like it's already like September. Oh my gosh. Like I was reading early this morning, like way early this morning, and it just dawned on me like it was like last week we were end of August, starting the football season. You guys remember that? Like how is that now like week what 4 weeks from that? How is that? I really don't get it. I do get it, but I don't get it. Just never ceases to time never ceases to amaze me. So maybe we'll hit on that. Maybe we won't today, but we're talking about the life of a 1099er. Okay. I hope today's going to be really, really good, or today's going to be the worst call ever. So if you want to jump off the ride now, Casey Gregory, if you want to jump off now, buddy, I get it. I totally get it. I don't want you to jump off because actually I want to ask you a few questions here in just a minute. I do, but as I get started, I do want to recognize I want to give Cornerstone collectively a shout out. Like this is our second week in a row of over 40 writers in a week. I think that's a great step in us getting back to 80 plus writers in a week. But here's what it is. Like for you guys that are on the call this morning, how do we get to 80? How do we get back to 115, 120 writers? I think we were at 120, maybe 121, 122 writers a week. At our height. How do we get back to that? Well, we get back to that from you growing, from you. The conference call attendance grows by you using your influence to get people to plug into these conference calls. Now, I do realize that I've got a big part in that. Like I've got to make these calls good enough to make you want to go, hey, you got to get on this call. Like you got to listen. This redneck, what he's talking about, like if anything, you'll laugh a little bit, right? So I do have to make it somewhat good for you guys. But the thing that I want to make it is I want to make these calls, especially Monday mornings at 9 o'clock. And thank you, Claudia Matthew, for your influence in me doing this. But I want to make these calls Monday morning at 9 o'clock. Like I want to make it like really good for you so that something is talked about on Monday mornings that helps you have a good week. So I want it to be actually beneficial. Okay. So over 40 writers, congratulations. Hey, two things. Number one, make sure you're reporting your business. So when you write a piece of business, we as a rule with Cornerstone, within 24 hours, and just really do it immediately. Within 24 hours of you writing a piece of business, you go on the Equus site. It's upper right hand, like report an app. So it just takes some information on that app. It puts it into the CRM. Okay. So, all righty. Hey, so top 10. Actually, we'll do top 9 because I think I'm number 10. Okay. Number 10, John Guy. Who's that? Okay. Number 9, Jimmy Torres. Hey, Jimmy, way to go, man. I'm going to enlarge this so I can actually see it. Jimmy Torres, way to go, man. 3 families helped, 3 applications taken last week. Jimmy Treach Jr., 4 applications, 4 families helped. Floyd Alvarado, man, great job on Friday. Kudos to you for being recognized as a brand new salesman. I say brand new salesman, actually requalifying sales manager, but from your recommitment to your business starting in February, it's just been a process, and to see you qualify sales managers, awesome. I love the people that you've got in your organization. And I do I'm speaking that now, like you've got some of those people that are in the process of going sales manager, which next thing you know, that elevates you to regional manager and above. That's why all business builders need good structure. You need good structure so that when you actually grow, you've got people that witness that growth and they get kind of pulled into it. That's why leaders, you always want to have width. Okay. And I can even say this, leaders out there, how many individual organizations do you have represented on this call? It really starts there. It's like no, if I start number one, am I plugged in? Yes. Number two, how many people can I get in my organization plugged in on Monday mornings at 9 o'clock? So the difference in me having little to none plugged in versus me having some or a lot plugged in is just simply my promotion of it. So on my to-do list, I want to make sure, hey, I call people up and go, hey, man, maybe we haven't talked, whatever, but man, you got to get back plugged in. Like some really cool things going on in the Cornerstone group. Monday mornings at 9 o'clock is the team call. Like, let's get you plugged. So I want to start off by having multiple legs, multiple organizations plugged into the call. Next step is I want to have multiple legs, multiple organizations that are submitting applications every week. Wow, how did I get into a structure talk on that? Here, all I'm doing is recognizing agents here. So, but that's where it starts. So those of you guys that go, I want to go sales man, I want to go regional man, I want to go vice president, I want to start cash flowing, 5 to 10,000 every 30 days from Equus bonuses. It starts with that. It starts with you using your influence and get how many people in your organization could be plugged in this morning if you just simply invited them. How many? So you want to start there. Okay. So anyway, Floyd Alvarado, great job. One family help last week. Listen, part-time dude, I'll take it, man. Get out there and protect at least one family a week part-time, and you're way ahead of the game. Barry Tuzo, 2 families. Matt Pertusit, one of my favorite guys ever, 2 families help. Jason, what can Brown do for you? Jason lives in the top of the leaderboard. 6 families help. Ollie Collins, we call Ollie OC, baby. 4 families help. Casey Gregory, 5 ho-hum, Casey, 5 families help. No, man, I just live my life. 5 families help. Patty D, Patrick De Lorenzo, 6 families help. Patty does a lot of advanced markets, debt elimination, tax-free retirement. He's at 14,610. So he's number 1. And yeah, I typically do my Ric Flair. Woo! So walk around, Patty D. I think Patty's down in Lexington, South Carolina. So walk around down there with that Ric Flair belt on, with the World Championship robe, and just walk around, let everybody know that you are number 1 this week. So here's what's on my heart. And it was on my heart somewhat last week. We talked about it. Oh, let me pull up, if I can. Okay, so I made a post yesterday morning. Okay. Positive expectation. Positive expectation is one of our key leadership traits. So what do I mean by that? It's just positive expectation. It's just living your life expectant of good things happen. You can live your life one of 2 ways. You can live your life expecting the worst to happen. You can live your life in fear always expecting the worst thing to happen. Or you can change your mindset. You can start renewing your mind. What is promised? What does the Bible promise? When we renew our mind, what happens? Transformation. So most of us, we start our business, and you know what we're all wanting? You know what, like, what's a common desire that everybody has? Transformation. Now, transformation may look different because it's your specific why, but really it's called transformation is our life getting better, our life going from where it is to where we want it to go. Transformation. So positive expectation, that's just something from a leadership standpoint you always want to gauge yourself in, and be fair to yourself and just ask yourself, hey, on a scale from 1 to 10, where am I right now? And you know, sometimes it's 5, 4, 5 on my expectation. Okay. Okay, well, that's like the gas gauge. You know, we're getting down, probably need to stop in and fill up. Okay, not in the emergency numbers yet, but we want to keep our expectation gauge going to full. Okay, that's going to my right. I'm not sure how it looks on your screen, but we want our expectation age going full. Well, here's the thing. There are things that we do in our life that leads to positive expectation. And then there are things that we do in our life that lead to no expect. Like, we know we suck. We're not working. We're not reading. We're not into personal development. We're not doing anything in our life other than waking up and just breathing air. It's hard to have positive expectation at that level. Okay. You can, through good coaching, you can create some hope, and you can develop a plan to get out from that miserable place. But where positive expectation tends to happen for most people is when you wake up every day and you're sowing seed to the great thing. It's like, I've identified what great things are going to happen in my life, and so I'm sowing seed to that. That's why every day I wake up, I speak my goals, I write my goals, I read, I work. I want to make sure it's like I've got all of these things that I do in my life that simply sow toward where I want to go. Now, not always on a scale from 1 to 10, not always am I running at 11. Not always am I running at that 9 to 10, like smoke a battle on me. I mean, that's really where we all want to get to. Like, that's that desire of, like, I want to live my life enthusiastic enough where when people get around me, they know something is a little bit different. Okay. It's like they can't really put a finger on it. It's just, they just like spending time with you. You know, it's just, but it's that positive expectation, but it's sowing seed for the positive expectation. Everything in your life improves when your hope level is high. You move different, you talk different, your very countenance is different. It's better, it's more attractive. Okay. Now, there is an attractive factor. I'm not going to get all weird on you, because there are a lot of books out there that, trust me, they get really weird on that stuff. But I kind of like, being that I'm reading like a Sunday edition, I just kind of like the Apostle Paul. I love what he had to say about it. Okay. And basically, what he had to say about it is, hey, think on these things. Okay. And you can look it up. I'm not going to teach it, but you can look it up. What does Paul say to think on? You know what? I think it's a great list of things to focus on and to think on for us to create positive expectation, for us to be that little bit different that attracts people. Can I say this? Being a negative cynic is easy. It is. I'm going to tell you what, you meet cynics out there, you meet negative ass people out there, you know what? They're choosing the easy way out. because there's a way that they can get out. They're just choosing to cling to the blame game. They're choosing to cling to the negative stuff. The negative stuff that happens in their life is no different than the negative stuff that happens in all of our lives. It's just not. It's just not. But Jack Canfield, who wrote one of the best business books I've ever read, I mean, it's never really in my top 3 or top 5, but it's always something that I promote. It's called Success Principles. Success Principles by Jack Canfield is an incredible read. The very first chapter is take 100% responsibility. Because until you take 100% responsibility for where you are in life, you have no power to change your life. If you're still playing the blame game, you're not taking 100% responsibility. And if you're blaming, then the person you're blaming still controls your life. So being a negative cynic is easy. It's taking the easy way out. And it has its very foundation. Listen to this. Listen to this. This may surprise some of y'all. But the very foundation is arrogance. It's arrogance. Arrogance is an ugly, ugly spirit. And you get around people that are arrogant, you know it. And I'm telling you, it's an ugly spirit. My continual challenge to people seeking my coaching is to start by taking your eyes off of you, put them on others. It ain't about you, baby. If you will practice this, it will be the start of the awesome life defined as humility. We all share an incredible business that we own that allows us to serve others in a special way. How are you doing in this area? Only you can figure out why you aren't getting the results you desire. Let me caution you that it starts with accepting 100% responsibility versus playing the blame game. We just talked about that. Here we grow. See you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Okay, so here's my question. Same question as last week. When you look at your life, for the most part, when you look at your life, what story is your life telling? What story is your life telling? Could your life be telling a better story? The story that your life is telling, if yesterday was your last day on earth and your family was talking about you, what story has your life told up till now? What story, if we really get specific into it, what story is your business life telling? Are you that person that whenever somebody talks about you behind closed doors, it's like, man, they're not going to say anything negative, but it's just like, man, they could be doing so much more. That person could be an incredible business builder. And I don't know what's really holding them back. I don't know what's going on. Or that person, man, they could be one of the top people on the Equus leaderboard every single week. I don't know what's holding them back. I don't know why they won't commit. Okay. Now there's always reasons. There's always reasons why people won't commit. There's always reasons. And that's why ultimately we're all in the self-image developing business, because I think it all goes back to that. Here's a statement that I want every single one of you at some point in time, maybe not today, maybe not this week, but at some point in time in your life, you really need to answer. But it's, my best life is on the other side of what? My best life. It's on the other side of ... I think that's a great question to ask yourself if you really want to know, hey, what's my action plan to get out of this funk? What's my action plan to not be broke anymore? John says repeatedly that if you've got a life insurance license, you shouldn't be broke. I'll always stand by that. If you've got a life insurance license and listen, whatever screw up you've done in your past, you haven't screwed up enough where if you can get one carrier to approve you on advanced commissions, you should never be broke. Not in this industry, not in the world we live in. Okay. Let me say this, and I'm not really switching gears. It kind of goes hand in hand with this. But to me, until you get on a crusade, and I don't care, it could be a personal sales crusade and your belief level and what you do for your families. Or it can be a B quadrant, which like me, like my crusade is always exposing business ownership to people. Not that everybody's an entrepreneur, but I'm going to tell you what, there's a lot of people like me stuck in the W-2 world out there working for somebody else's dream only because they don't know there's other things. Now, does that mean they don't know? No. They know about, I knew about business ownership. I just didn't know I could participate in it. I knew doctors, lawyers, dentists. I knew chiropractors. I knew restaurant owners. I knew insurance. I knew real estate, but I just didn't know I could, like, until somebody gave me an invitation. So my biggest crusade is exposing our opportunity to others and really knowing that as I do that, I'm exposing a winning lottery ticket. Like, I'm giving it to them. Hey, dude, it's millions. It's a 7-figure income. Think about it. It's a 7-figure. It's a $21,000 a week income plus. What am I offering to people? $21,000 a week business. Well, why doesn't everybody build a $21,000+ a week business? Man, I will tell you that's really one of the things that drives me. I don't know. Outside of self-image, I don't know. They've got access to the same leads. They've got access to the same carriers. They've got access to the same products. I don't know. Well, John, it's dream level. Okay. That sounds good. Let's go with it. If it's dream level, if we hang around big dreamers, can we develop a bigger dream? Yes. Okay. Well, then there's the answer. Unfortunately, the answer is never how to. Unfortunately, the answer is never, I know all things about all products. Okay, well, how's that working for you on the leaderboard? It doesn't translate. Exactly. So there are people that don't know near as much as you about products, but they're out protecting more families. Explain that to me. I guess I should say, explain that to me. Explain that to me. True crusaders, S quadrant, B quadrant, you pick. True crusaders don't have an income level that drives them. True crusaders are driven by something much bigger than income level. So when you see people get to certain income levels and then they start kind of slacking off or whatever, okay, I mean, it's just, I get it, but I'm telling you, as long as you stay focused on the crusade, as long as you keep your eyes focused on that thing way bigger than you are, way bigger than the money you get, then you keep moving forward in the direction of your purpose in life. Your purpose in life. And I will tell you this. Let me tell you where you're going to find happiness. Let me tell you where you're going to find joy. Let me tell you where you're going to find all of those good things that everybody spends millions of dollars looking for. When you get lost in your purpose of living life on a much higher level, because your eyes are not on you, they're on the people that you're loving on and that you're serving, man, like failure takes on a whole new meaning. Because failure, what other people see as failure, is just simply you're working toward changing people's lives. So in me sharing the opportunity with people, I don't think I have to tell you this, but you do realize that I'm a massive failure. I've exposed this business to thousands, tens of thousands of people. And at the height of Cornerstone, we were 122 writing agents a week. Man, John, you suck. Exactly. Man, we could get that 122 to 1,022 easy. How? Because I think we've got people that are crusade driven. When you get off this phone, I mean, honestly, is your hand like, are you crusade driven? Like, if you're not crusade driven, like, why did you get your life insurance? Like, why are you on this call? Well, I want to live a broke life, and I really don't want to really jump into my purpose. I mean, that's what you're saying. I don't really want to go really deep into my purpose, because then my life, like, then I won't be able to control it. So that's it. That's it. Do y'all remember the Charlie Brown? And I don't know which one it is, but do you remember when Lucy was like trying to diagnose what's wrong with Charlie Brown? Y'all remember that? Greatest thing ever. And then Lucy came up with a word that was the fear of everything. And Charlie Brown said, that's it. Y'all, I love fall just because we've got Charlie Brown's coming up. We've got, I think it's a great pumpkin Charlie Brown, or it's the great pumpkin Charlie Brown. Then we've got Charlie Brown Thanksgiving with a little birdie. And then we obviously got Charlie Brown Christmas. Okay. I digress. That's it. I don't want to go too far into my purpose, because I would lose control of my life. So you see me smiling, and you know why. Like, I could just go to my next topic and leave it at that. So let me ask you, just because I'm really genuinely interested in the answer, what is it in your life that you're in control of? See, I want to know, like, how awesome are you? Like, what part of your life do you think you actually control? Here's what I know, and I'll leave it at this. You can suffer under delusions all day long, but let me promise you something. You don't control your next breath. And the very moment you come to that realization, I think is a great step towards you actually living the life that you were called to live. It's 9:30. I want to wrap up with, I mean, this is going to be redundant, but I want to wrap up with our system. So we have a system, and some people plug into that system, some people don't. Okay. Some people plug into that system, some people don't. But I will tell you that when you look at our system, we have a system of carrier relationships, we have a system of leads, and then we have a system of examples. So what do I mean by examples? We have a system of people that invest X amount of dollars in leads, and they consistently generate X amount in revenue. So most of the time, people that aren't succeeding, they're not following the system at just somewhere in the system. Okay. I love our example. As a matter of fact, I was texting with Jimmy Pyron over the weekend. Roll Tide, baby. Jimmy Pyron, one of the biggest Bammy fans there is out there. But I was texting with Jimmy about the Ethos leads, and Jimmy was like, "Hey, man, my buddy Chris Ward was telling me about Casey Gregory, man, and he didn't even know Casey's Gregory. He just said, man, that guy, who's that guy getting them $8 Ethos leads?" So Casey, hey, man, and I hope you don't get tired of me interviewing you, basically asking you the same questions. But so I see on the leaderboard last week, 5 families help, ho hum, another week, 5 what? Okay, so like, hey man, are you doing something different? Are you still working those $8 Ethos leads?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just about 500 a week.
Yep. Yep. Doing that. And we just had the conversation this last weekend. We were with some family members in St. Louis, visiting people that I've never met before, and enjoyed that. But I still found time to go out onto their enclosed patio and make my dials Saturday and also Friday. And they were gracious enough to keep bringing me coffee until I finished.
Love
And,
it.
and so it was great. I love this business because we can do it anywhere. And I know we say that all the time, but it's just $8 leads, and I can sit there and call those people, which I will do today live. And some will, some won't. There's a bunch of them. We can call them back later. I don't think they expire. They're not like they're really not like an A lead that we used to get back in the day, which I loved and you love. But those things are like bread and cheese. They go bad. These dudes don't go bad. And it really feels good whenever you find one that you didn't even remember you had, and then all of a sudden they decide they want to place an application and get some coverage. So I never get tired of you asking me. I think it's a blessing that we get to even do this.
Love it.
I hadn't always felt that way, but I do.
Yeah. So you're working the $8 Ethos leads. So what does your typical day like? I mean, so I know you religiously work on Saturdays because it's a great day to make dials. So
right.
what do you try to accomplish on Saturdays?
Saturday, I try to write 1 or 2 applications during that day. And the other big goal is to set as many appointments for Monday as I can.
Okay.
So those are the 2 things.
All righty. And then you go into Monday.
Yep. Hopefully
what's kind of your mindset for the week going into Monday?
Well, hopefully I've got 1 or 2 already posted, and if that really puts the momentum in my favor.
Yes.
And so, yeah. And so the idea is after the gold standard call or whenever, I'll start calling and making appointments for the evening the best that I can. And or if they're like, hey, I don't have any time, I was like, well, do you have time right now? Sometimes they're like, yeah, I got some time right now. What you need? Go. And I'll just start writing things down, and I'm creating rapport that whole time. And so next thing you know, they end up having more time than they really let you know, because now they're enjoying talking to you because we found some commonality, and then so we're going right along, and I was like, most people want coverage under $500,000, depending on their age. with no medical, somewhere around $100 or so. Is that kind of the case for you too? Because people like to do what other people like. They want to be included. They don't want to be different. They want, oh yeah, that's what I would like. Or if it's not, then they'll tell you, and then you kind of know what you're dealing with. You know, if I could find you some coverage, we could get the application part done today in a few minutes. Would that be something you were interested in? That way, the underwriter can actually make their final decision. I can't take any money from you today, but we can submit our best foot forward for you. I can go to work for you. I'll be your advocate for you, the underwriter. Would that be something you'd like to do real quick? Okay, let's do that.
So, so what's your typical phone script? Call me up.
Yeah, okay. I say, hey, John,
Yep.
this is Casey Gregory. My name's not going to sound familiar to you, but I was actually referred to you by a company. It was an online life company you had looked into a little while ago, Ethos Life. Anyway, I have a brokerage here in Austin, Texas, and we work with top 20 or so life insurance companies in the country. Just wanted to see what you were able to find. It didn't look like you were able to get coverage. My job is to help families get coverage in a way that makes sense to them, budget wise and otherwise. Is this something you're still interested in, John?
Yes, I'm writing this down, but yes.
Yeah. Okay. So say you're interested. Great. You know, were you just looking for yourself, or are you kind of like me? Do you have a family? And then you would say whatever it is, and then I would go right along. I mean, were you looking for coverage for your wife as well? How old are your kids? And so we start talking, and well, a lot of times if it's a guy, they'll say, "No, man, I just want some coverage. I need to kind of get it quick because I'm busy, and I just want to make sure that the wife and kids are taken care of if something happens to me." I get that a lot. And let's say that you say that, I'm like, "Hey, great, man, I understand that. I'm a dad. I got two kids in college and one at home still, and yeah, this is an important thing that us dads, this is our responsibility, right? I mean, if we can't work and earn a living, then our family's in a bad way. So
And that is you relating to your client. Okay, and that we can make that look a lot of different ways of relating to your clients. So I will tell you this. So I'm really learning from you, Casey, because I've been buying the $18 leads, the 0 to 31 days.
Mhm.
There is still the shelf life on those leads because after 31 days, if they're not sold, they go back into inventory. The leads that Casey buys, they don't go back in the inventory. So Casey's buying the $8 leads. He's buying the leads that are already 31 days old. Okay, so that's why he made the comment a while ago. They really don't have the shelf life. They are what they are. Casey, one of the frustrations that I have in basically working about 20 to 25 $18 ethos leads is, man, like I suck at getting like I'm telling you, like calling these people, they don't answer their phones. Yes, I typically will write a couple of applications per every 20 leads or so. Maybe a little bit better than that, but I'm just saying but it's like you're getting way more swings at the plate, way more attempts than I am because you're working $500 of the $8 leads.
Mhm.
Do you feel like do you have the same frustration, or is it based on the number of leads you're getting that you kind of overcome it that way?
Well, just because I've worked them long enough now, I understand that I'm gonna get some good stuff out of them. So yes, but I have the same frustrations you have because like Saturday when I was dialing, I didn't get anybody to hardly answer. I don't think I got anybody to answer. I certainly didn't write anybody Saturday, but I'm not discouraged because I've still got those people. I didn't talk to them, so it's like I never called them. They don't remember me calling them. So I'm going to load them up in my deal. I've got probably 100 people today that I've decided that I'm going to dial. that 100 set of leads over the last week or so, and there'll be business out of that. But yes, I had the same frustration. People, I think I may have told you, or I told Lisa or somebody about the situation where the guy said he wouldn't answer the phone. I'd called him and called him and called him. And I was like, I know you're busy. I am too. Would it help if I got some basic information from you by text? Sure, shoot. What do you got? What do you need? And I just that much room is all I needed. And I got a little bit of information. Next thing you know, we go to the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. I'm like, hey, I've got enough information. We could submit your application. If you got a couple minutes to jump online, there's some stuff that you may not want to text me. Yeah, okay, sure. I get on. Next thing you know, his application's done. We spent probably 30 minutes. Then he said he didn't have any time for. But I think that was, in my mind, it was like, you're meeting the client where they are.
Yeah.
And it's like the kid that goes, can I go, whatever. Can I do this? No. Can I do it? Come on. Can I do it? Okay, fine. Just kind of, and it's not like that, but it is. You have to be persistent. I mean, how many times do we talk to these people or contact them? Let's say we reach out to them before we actually do anything. It's not once. It's not 3 times. A lot of times it's the 8th time. And
as I'm sitting here listening to you talk, there are other lead types. There are people in Equus that are killing it with the mortgage protection IVRs.
Yep.
There are people that are starting to do well with the final expense direct mail leads. But I will tell you, as you talk, Casey, I'm just wondering, because I know with virtual sales, there's a lower close ratio than face-to-face. Okay. That's been proven. I don't think that that's a bad thing. It is what it is.
Right.
Most people would choose the lower close ratio with virtual than to up their close ratio and go back out face-to-face with all that entails. Okay. I'm a face-to-face guy. I kind of get jazzed up by it, but I know I'm a weird duck. Okay. I'm just really wondering, Casey, if, and I'm not saying people can't work those other lead types, because you certainly can, but man, if you would go out and you would duplicate what Casey's doing on the $8 ethos leads, and you would create a $3,000-$4,000 a week revenue off of a $500 a week lead investment, if you would kind of use that as your foundation, man, I think that really puts you in a great position. So anyway,
I wanted to say this one thing I told Lisa, and I think she found it useful, was whenever I am making dials, a lot of times on this call, because of the sake of time, I tend to speed it up. But whenever I'm calling you, if I was going to call you, John, I would make sure that I didn't sound like just anybody else that was calling to sell you something. I would measure my conversation. Like I'd say, hey, John, yeah, this is Casey calling. And, I'm calling you. My name's not going to ring a bell. And I may not be that choppy, but the point of it is you're slowing it way down.
Yeah.
Just like I was stepping out and calling a friend or something. You wouldn't think about, what do I need to say next? You would just talk to them. And these people, they just if you sound like that, I think they're much more apt to listen to you longer, which is what you need to get them interested.
Hey, so we've got 15 minutes before we have to jump off onto the gold standard coaching call. I see. So Veronica Mills, Veronica. So I'm saying your name, and you're out there. You're probably panicking right now. You may not be able to get on camera, or you may. But if you can get on camera and unmute, I'd love to just ask you a few questions while I have Casey on. Hey, Veronica.
Good morning.
How are you?
Sorry, it's a little early this morning still.
I know. Well, tell everybody where you are.
I'm in Rama, Colorado. So right now it's 7 o'clock. We had a late night last night, had my nephew stay the night. So little beat
Well,
up this morning.
I am glad that you jumped on. You're kind of like I'm always see your name plugged in. That's a great thing. The other thing that's a great thing is last week you were posting, you were taking action, you were getting no's. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be getting you $100 of some leads today for that. And
Thank you.
but I'm excited to see you take action. And I'm really not 1,000% sure what lead type you were working, but do you have any questions at all about things that you're facing that maybe you want to ask a proven producer like Casey?
My hardest problem, I guess, is either getting them to answer the phone, or I'll get them to book an appointment, but then they won't meet for the appointment. So it's
That
the
just shows
locking
me
down the appointments.
That just shows me
I
that
think are
you're
my
actually
issue.
working. You're actually working because you're getting the same thing happen to you that's happening to me. So not picking up the phone and they're not showing up. The way you solve the
Yes.
not showing up part is to book at least 10 to 12. You'll get 2 or 3 or 4 of them, at minimum 2
Okay.
that'll generally show up. And you're going to write 1 or 2 apps out of that. Not a bad thing for that investment in a one day. If you can write 1 a day, would
No,
that be okay?
that would be amazing.
One
It
issue pay
would.
today.
And I've been
Yeah.
and
as far
working off of the $8 ethos lead.
Same. So as far as getting them to answer, I call 2 times minimum, a lot of times 3 if I'm feeling frisky. And you just call them and just call them, hang up. Call them, they don't. If it rolls straight to it, hang up. I'm not leaving a voicemail generally at first because I want them to wonder who that is calling. And a lot of times they'll call me back. Yep. And I just pick it up, say, hey, this is Veronica. How can I help you? Oh, well, I got a missed call from this number. Oh, yeah. And you'll know if they put their name and number into your phone, you'll know who it is calling back, which has helped me immensely. And just say, hey, John, how's it going? Well, he doesn't know who you are. You can clean up the confusion. It's okay.
Yeah.
John call, and you're like, hey, well, who's this? I'm like, hey, no problem. I was referred to you by that online life insurance company, Ethos Life. I'm the person that, helps you get the coverage you were looking for at a lot better price. Yeah, I'll just call and set up
That's what I've been trying to kind of say with them.
Yeah. You just got to call more of them. That's all it is. But they're so cheap. We can do that. And what else we got to do today?
And that's what I was going to do. I was going to Friday and today I was going to start doing the text messages.
Yes, I have not had a lot of success with that, but I don't think there's a wrong thing. There's really not. I still text people. If I'm just taking a minute, then I'll text them. I just haven't had a lot of success. I'll just say that. But if you start doing, tell me, because I want to do what you're doing then.
Okay, I will. I'll keep you posted.
Please do.
I will tell you guys this on on the text messages. One of the things that I've done the last couple of weeks, and I did it this past Friday, is late Friday afternoon, early evening. I will text, because everybody develops their pipeline, right? Their pipeline of the, not a hard no, but not now or possibly or whatever. And so I text them on Friday afternoons just saying, hey, getting ready to leave my office, had you on my heart. Just want to see if we can't book a time first of the week, get your application submitted, or at least talk. My exact text was, get your application submitted, or at least connect to talk about what your hesitation is. And I will tell you, I sent probably 7 text messages on Friday, and I booked 2 appointments. Actually, one guy said, well, here's my hesitation, and I overcame it via text. He was like, fantastic. So anyway,
that's good.
Here's the thing. You guys, listen to me, please. If you're not listening right now, please zone in, listen to me. 9 o'clock. This is one of the things that I really think from a Cornerstone standpoint is really big. Okay. Tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern time, we've got John Ray. Okay. John Ray started out part-time with that. John Ray is one of the top producers in all of Equus. He's an incredible guy, just inside and out. I love him so much. I respect him. His numbers are real. His revenue is real. Okay. My son, JK2, reached out to John and said, hey, would you be willing to do a call with Cornerstone? And he said yes. And so they booked the call time for tonight at 9 p.m. Please put that in your calendar. For East Coasters, it may be a little bit on the late side, but 9 o'clock p.m. tonight, John 10K Ray on this same CVO link. Okay. But JK2 and Claudia are going to be hosting him. Please put that in your calendar, and please make sure you drop a personal phone call to every single person you know. That, I mean, this would be an incredible recruiting call. Like, hey, if you want to see what we do and you want to meet somebody that's a lot like you and that got in this business and they struggled and now they're not struggling anymore, like John Ray is incredible. And so invite them to join tonight. Okay. Right. But tonight, that will start at 9 o'clock sharp tonight. Casey Gregory, thank you so much for your example. And I'm going to be jumping on the Gold Standard coaching call and then back on the CVO today. God bless.
Yep.